I believe that we are live here. Everybody's head should be matched to the correct name tags. Hello, everyone. My name is Arthur Perkins, and this is the character creation session of our Skulls and Shackles home campaign using the Pathfinder system. I'm coming to you from New Jersey. I am the game master here, and in my real life, I'm also an electrical engineer and content creator here at Twitch. If everyone could introduce themselves, we'll go left to right on my screen. So let's start with Lorraine. Who are you and what do you do?
Hi everyone, my name's Lorraine. You've seen me on a couple of these broadcasts before. In real life, I'm an attorney slash systems administrator working on data breaches. So if your company has your credit card data stolen, I will laugh at you. This game, I will be playing Cereza, the Wave Oracle slash very confused young woman. And I have been instructed that I'm not allowed to kill the party this time. So, yeah.
Inside reference, but those who know that she will kill the party. Dan, tell us about you and Quirrell, who may no longer be named Quirrell. I'm not really sure how that's working out.
I think I'm going to keep Kirill.
Kirel, okay, we'll do it.
More emphasis. Anyway, hello. My name is Dan. In real life, I'm a senior studying video, television, and film at Hofstra University. And yeah, I'm new to these streams, so just came in off the Pathfinder Society Collective, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, Craig, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, my name's Greg. In real life, I'm let me see, my title is currently Senior Threat Analyst. I'm one of the guys that fights malware, reverse engineers code, does that kind of thing. I write a lot of tools and software and stuff. Love what I do. I'm brand new to this. I've never been on a stream of any kind with anybody before, and I came here also from the Pathfinder Collective.
And finally, Adam, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Adam Majelica. I am a tax director for a small public company here in Denver, Colorado. I've joined Pathfinder for about 2 years now. I've been enjoying every session, but I've always looked forward to a campaign setting. That's always kind of been my end goal, being able to develop a character over the long term. But yeah, I'm really excited about this pirate campaign. I've never participated in a pirate campaign before, so I'm eager to get started.
All right, and just going to take a second to ask one of my viewers out there, specifically Jesse Davis, to check on our sound levels, because last time I did this it was kind of wonky. Hello to the viewers. So just going to pop over here real quick. So here's some of the changes, or let me lay out the ground rules for everybody about what's happening. First off, I have to ask the players not to watch the stream this time, because specifically I am going to be streaming from the GM side of things rather than my normal player side, and so everything that's on the GM layer will be clearly visible to the players. Also, some of the stuff I want to keep secret from the players I will be showing you, such as the GM documents here. So if the players were to accidentally see those, it could cause some problems later on. So there are things the audience will know that the players will have no idea about. Let's go over the basic rules about this campaign. We're doing 20-point characters, a 4-person party. Each character will start with 150 gold pieces to buy equipment with. I have set the books allowed as core, all of the ultimate books and all of the advanced books, and I believe we have at least one person playing something out of the latest advanced class guide, right?
Yep, that's me. I'm playing an investigator, Kirill. Yep.
And everyone is playing something piratey themed, which is awesome. So EXP will be handed out to everyone who participates in a combat. So if the combat ends in 1 round and you haven't acted yet, you don't get any XP. That's part of the reason why I have banned gunslingers and, well, normal gunslingers and witches, because they have a tendency to completely one-side a fight. But if the fight is so one-sided that one person kills everything in the first round, I think that they should be the only one getting XP, and then everyone else can harass them about it. In addition, something for the crew here, which is what I'm going to refer to as the party from now on. The crew is going to have to pick from among themselves before the end of the night the following positions. Someone has to be a captain. There has to be someone who is the leader of the boat, and as well, that person usually is a pilot, but doesn't necessarily have to be. So if you don't have the pilot as the captain, you will also need a pilot position. And the following are some optional officer positions that, if you don't fill them, you'll have to get NPCs to fill them eventually. Our quartermaster. That person will be in charge of the loot list and the crew list for out-of-game purposes. Whoever will be handling all the money and finances, and in-game will be doing the exact same thing. You'll need a master at arms. This is the person who keeps order and discipline on the ship and hands out punishments. And finally, you need a master gunner, who is your siege engineer and ammunition specialist. So if you guys think that you deserve a role above someone else, be prepared to fight for it from among the party. I mean, unless this crew would like to just work together and decide things democratically. But that's not the way pirates do it, is it?
It's not very piratey.
Yeah, it's not very piratey.
Well, I know from the email thread that Adam, you really wanted to be the siege engineer. You basically built your character around just wrecking other people's boats.
That is correct. So if anyone else wants that role, I'd be happy to negotiate. But I definitely was looking forward to performing that part of the ship responsibilities of destroying the other enemy's vessels.
So you'd like to take the spot of Master Gunner?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone have any nominations for pilot or captain or pilot captain?
Not terribly familiar with the skill requirements for captain, other than being in charge. Just
Probably
profession sailor?
Probably profession sailor. Skilled driver would be nice. Expert driver would be really nice.
Honestly, unless someone is burning for a particular position, I'd like to get in and actually play the characters a little bit and get a better feel for them before we divvy things up.
Oh, okay. All right.
My fucking grandson,
Okay, right.
Yeah.
No, it's just
So-
Would anyone like to volunteer to do loot for the party? Be the out-of-game quartermaster.
Why not? I'm probably going to end up being the in-game quartermaster anyway.
Very well.
I think Master's Arms is probably going to be a shoe-in for me. So
Uh-oh,
And
Lorraine.
why do you say
I mean,
that?
the guy with the big axe.
Let me ask, Lorraine, do you have profession sailor?
and they put TNT
I
in
do.
It sounds kind of like you're gonna be the pilot and possibly captain.
It's always comforting when I end up being the captain because nobody else wants the position.
I don't think it's that nobody else wants it. I think it's that we all knew all along you were gonna end up betraying
You're like
everyone until you ended up captain anyway.
Yeah.
That's how pirate ships work, right? Mutiny? Mutiny until you win?
Well, if I'm the one who's betraying everyone, then how am I the captain? If anything, I should be the first mate and have
I'd
a
point
goatee.
you to Captain Jack Sparrow.
Put you in the right position to be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get started with some dice rolling. We're going to be using the background generator from the Ultimate Campaign book. It is provided on the SRD, as you can see here.
Probably was.
Let's do some rolling. I think we'll be starting with D100s for almost
I
everyone.
want to, honestly. Can you tell me who placed all the TNT?
So while we're doing this,
How do
if
I do
everyone
that?
could kind of introduce what their
I figured
class
out
race
the
combination is, so the audience at home isn't confused.
You're in.
Who's starting?
Whoever would like to volunteer.
Same order as before.
Sure. Lorraine, Dan, Craig, Adam.
Who placed the
All right.
TNT?
Cereza is a human female with purple hair and hazel eyes, and she will be playing a wave oracle, commanding the powers of water and air.
Okay,
Kirel
Bella.
will be a half-elf investigator with the water child alternate racial trait, probably a shoreborn half-elf in flavor. Brown hair, aquifer eyes, and he'll be the first one in the water if there's ancient ruins to explore or just a general font of knowledge, maybe in the lab creating alchemical poultices, stuff like that.
It was Felisac.
Okay, what about Sifrig?
Sifrig is a barbarian dwarf. He's a saltbeard dwarven racial trait and is going to be a sea reaver barbarian. So everything about getting wet and abusing people when they can't move around.
Oh, this does sound like a really good master at arms. Adam, tell us about Novardi. And I believe Novardi has a special connection with at least one other character.
Yes. So, Novardi is a 200-year-old elf who has a lot of the water elf blood flowing through his veins. So he's just always found himself near a port city. He spent a lot of time on a ship, but he's much more interested in the engineering aspect and examining what happens when war and naval combat. What happens as far as damaging ships and how do you repair them. But the baseline statistics are he is a elven arcane bomber, which is a wizard archetype. So he has recently mastered the infusing alchemy with arcane magic, and so with this he wants to perfect naval combat through the use of fire and magic.
Because there's nothing that says good combat like an open flame on a wooden ship.
And
I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen.
I was going to actually leave that
How do I give it a
to the
time?
party. If you think that's going to be too much of a disadvantage, I'd be happy to change my arcane bomb to a different energy type during character creation. If you're like, look, that's going to be too troublesome, I could easily turn it to acid, electricity, or frost. Acid, cold, fire, and electricity are the only options I have. But once you choose that option, I'm not able to change it back. So if someone is not thinking that that's a good idea to have a fire-based bomber on board of their ship, I'd be happy to change that to acid or cold.
Okay. I think one of the basic rules on a ship is fire bad.
It was more than 12
So-
hours.
Yeah.
Just for the guys that haven't done this and for the viewers at home, as you roll through the ultimate combat background generator, you'll get various options that are attached with a trait. Make sure to set all of that information aside so that when we generate a literal background, we'll go through the story of your life, but also those particular traits are what you're going to have available to you when you pick the 3 traits for your character. And yes, normally on Pathfinder you would only have 2 traits. However, the end of the ultimate campaign generator allows you to take a flaw in order to gain another trait, and I am forcing my players to do this because I am cruel like the sea. I have to say, I've seen a number of people with flaws. However, Adam is the best. His no-bill vein, his vein drawback has never not come into play over and over again. Even to the detriment of his character, he will play Vayne as much as possible. It is hilarious.
Maybe because it hits a little too close to home.
Well,
So
I
good.
accidentally destroyed most of that stuff.
And just because I want to highlight it, this has never happened in one of my home campaigns before. In 15 years, I believe 2 of you are playing relatives of each other.
I'm sorry, yeah, I forgot to mention that part after my rant. So I am a full elf with apparently an unusual background. So I think that actually fits the my character very well because he has sea blood in him, water elf blood in him, and he has a half elven nephew that Dan is playing. The investigator is his much younger nephew.
Yeah, you're actually 200 years old according to the tables. You're well into old age. So far,
I think he's
Forest...
saying middle-aged.
Ah, all right. So far, Forest Homeland. Only my father is alive.
This didn't work
Oops.
out.
I think the plan we set up was your sister.
We can just alter it around.
It worked out.
Okay.
If you'd like to, yeah.
So
You have such a cool background already ready for that part, at least. Forest background, not to jump in here, but as an elf, Forest always makes me think of Keonan, which is the all-elf forest nation.
Yeah.
Maybe you're from the homeland.
Maybe
Novardi left his family back home to go out elfing on the high seas. So the special rule that the players know that I'm about to reveal, that some of you may have caught while I was going through the GM documentation, is that I'm going to ask them for their will saves, their sense motive, their perception, their sleight of hand, and other various modifiers that they would normally roll for, but instead I will roll for them, and they will not know the results.
No.
That's not right.
So when someone lies to them, I'm going to roll all of their sense motive checks, and they will get individual messages as to whether they've succeeded or failed. We'll try this for a couple sessions to see how it works out, but I'm really looking forward to the secret will save fails.
Do we have to tell you that we're trying to sense someone, or are you just going to be rolling for every conversation?
If you guys sense motive on somebody, in the future I'm going to assume that it is for the get a hunch ability of sense motive. So trying to read someone. If you succeeded on that, you might learn that the person is in fact being deceptive. But I will automatically roll for you whenever someone is lying, for instance.
Alright.
And I think this will be a little different because sometimes I have characters lie to the players and no one ever thinks this dude is making up complete and utter shite.
Now, how is this going to work when the characters lie to each other?
Well, I have no idea. If you want to lie to the other players...
That's going to happen, let's be honest.
I have no idea. We'll take it on a case-by-case basis. I'm seeing 2d20, and on the generator, I know that means somebody is rolling for their parents' profession, right? Someone with extremely poor parents.
That is correct. You are spot on.
That is the only time a man would roll 2d20. And you rolled pretty low, so I'm guessing it was bad. Not, I'm thinking surf, maybe.
Yep.
I think I know this generator a little bit too well, but this has got to be my 11th time doing this, so...
I absolutely love it.
This is my first time using the generator, so forgive me if I'm a little slow.
Oh, it's perfectly alright. Don't worry about it. I'm used to this.
Jumping between tabs.
It harkens back to the old RPG, days where everything was a chart, and Sometimes it makes a lot of sense, sometimes it doesn't. My last attempt made a lot of sense.
Well,
Are we
so
doing-
far, I'm apparently blessed birth, and I have an inheritance.
What was the question, Lorraine?
Are we doing all alignments or no you?
Oh,
All alignments.
no matter how many times I
You can be
start
bad
going-
if you want to. You're pirates! Take what you want, give nothing back!
Yar.
I don't know how this is happening.
Glass table.
I was going to show
Okay.
the bottle of rum that I've been drinking from, but then I was informed that there might be some copyright issues, and Twitch would ban me for it. But for those of you
Alright.
in the know who want to start a drinking game, every time the players are about to do something really dumb, you should take a shot of your Captain Jack's. What is this called? Sailor
Yeah,
Jerry's.
Jack's.
Sailor Jerry's extremely brown-looking rum. I'll think of a good drinking
Oh.
game.
Halfling. I was tickled to death. I rolled 100 and it's a halfling trait.
Now we come to the point in the game where investigator is not on this list.
You can pick from either of the base.
So
I think
I think we're gonna get a
like rogue
roll.
something.
Yeah, rogue alchemist. I think we're gonna roll a D100 and then see what that crops up for both,
Okay.
and see which one I like better.
Like a quantum investigator. Until you decide you're both or neither.
Yeah, Schrodinger's investigator.
Well, the thing is you don't die at the end of it from radiation poisoning. So
Yeah, that might not be good.
for those of you at home wondering, yes, this hat is magnificent, and these dreadlocks are totally real. I grew them out since last Monday, if you've been following the Rise of the Rune Lord.
And you're trimming them off tonight?
Yeah, for Rise of the Rune Lord tomorrow. But don't worry, they'll be back next Sunday.
Drug.
What? Oh, it's not mine.
So just in case, I think, Craig, this is your first time. When you're writing down the conflicts, make
Mhm.
sure to also note what your CP points are. So that helps determine your alignment.
Arthur, I have a role that contradicts itself.
Okay.
I had the serf's, poor parenthood, but
Yep.
then I rolled the inheritance for the major childhood event. Shall I re-roll that?
No, you can figure out how that works out. How did that work out? Maybe you had a rich uncle.
Oh, I didn't think about the uncle.
Isn't that how things normally work out? You know, Daddy Warbuck shows up. I saw that new Annie is coming out. I'm a big fan of musicals, so... And it looks legit.
I've seen that live a couple times. A lot of fun.
It probably did not have Cameron Diaz in the musical. But I suspect the movie is going to be quite good. Speaking of which, Guardians of the Galaxy, anyone watch it yet? Or is it still just
Oh,
me?
yeah.
I
It
have.
Oh,
was
thank goodness.
I actually
awesome.
watched it earlier
Has-
today.
Don't
Cannot wait till
spoil
it
it,
comes
but
out.
it is awesome, right?
It is
very-
crazy awesome.
That is why I always put bards in charge of parties. Hashtag dance off.
Okay. Conflict. D20. Another D20.
Humanoid, what?
Oh, 19 conflict subject. Oh, so bad.
Humanoid monster.
So bad.
Again?
At least you didn't get mass murder of children. That used to happen a statistically impossible amount of times. I'm telling you, it happened like 3 games in a row. Let me talk to you about that Wardens of the Reborn Forge group. Looking at you, Lorraine. You guys were all monsters.
Yeah. Another one where we were kind of ended up trying to kill each other.
Well, that was
think
just
it's
because you
you,
had a
Mark.
wild rager. I mean, he literally tried to kill the party.
I'm jealous of a humanoid monster.
Ooh, why you
Wow.
jelly, bro? Why you
Oh
jelly?
man.
Subject.
Yeah.
Okay, are we rolling for drawbacks? Do we get to pick one?
Ooh, good question.
And so tell me what conflict points do.
All right. If you check the background generator down at the conflict point section, you have to go back up, and it has the alignment wheel. It's like two.
Oh, that's a D20, not a D10.
It'll say like lawful, neutral, chaotic, good, neutral, evil. Do you find that part?
I'm doing it on the spreadsheet.
Oh, I have no idea then.
So and there's nothing about alignment on here. So
I don't know what the spreadsheet is. Check this link. I'm going to send it to you for the SRD.
okay.
And then scroll down to major conflicts in alignment. So you have to pick one of each type. So you have to pick something between lawful and chaotic and something between good and evil. And the points that you have to add up together.
I only have 3 conflict points.
So that's the other thing. At the end of the conflict point chapter, there's something called resolution, where you get something where you can add or subtract conflict points by having regret and penance, or saying you enjoyed it, or things in between that. So make sure you're checking this table. You can't have less than 2 points, no matter what happens, because that will force you into lawful good.
Where did you send the link?
It should be in the Roll20.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, before the resolution, I only have 3 conflict points.
Okay, so you could take you enjoyed it and get 6, or some number in between there.
Minor failure versus a spellcaster. I enjoyed it. Guy was a jackass.
Lorraine, if I didn't get around to it, I think you should roll for...
Wow. Really?
Roll for drawbacks. Don't roll for association with other adventurers yet. We do that together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll
I'm ahead of the game then.
Other characters. So you're actually finished if you're down to that part.
Yep. I'm on drawback.
Oh yeah,
so.
Still do a drawback.
No, I'm not. I was waiting on it. It looks like, according to this, I have 7 points, and I have not picked my resolution yet.
Okay. So 7's a good number. That's going to open up quite a few possibilities. So for instance, if you took a +1 point, if you liked it a little bit, you would have 8 points, and you could pick true neutral by picking 4 and 4.
Oh, so you get to split the total
you split
points.
the points. That's why you can't have less than 2, because you have to be able to pick lawful good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to split them, or you can just...
Yes, you have to split them. Because you have to have one in at least every category.
At least one has to be one, yeah.
You have to be some form of lawful, chaotic, and some form of good or evil.
Okay, so if I have 4 conflict points, I have to put 2 into lawful and 2 into good evil?
If you wanted to take a different resolution choice, for instance, if you had 5 points, you could put 1 into lawful or good, and then the other into neutral. See? Because you would have 1 point and 4 points. It's a little flexible. You're going to go back and revise your...
Okay, so you don't have to have a 50-50 split. I could be like lawful neutral.
Right. Yep.
I could just put all my points into good evil.
Well, no, you have to put 1 point.
Oh, I have to put 1 point into each. Okay, so I put 1 point into lawful, 3 points into good, and that'll kick me into neutral territory?
Well, no, that would make you lawful good.
Yeah, I need to change it up.
So if all you need is 1 more point. So if you had 2 points, right? And you chose a different resolution?
I had 2 points. I had 3 points. I chose denial. That gave me 4 points.
Okay.
Because it was a minor failure against spellcaster. I assume my uncle.
So if you instead had 5 points, you could put 1 point and 4 points, and that would give you the option of choosing neutral somewhere or some other combination. Because in order to move out of lawful good, you have to have at least 4 points.
Right.
I'm sorry, 5, because you got to put 4 into something and then 1 into something else.
It'd be so much easier if I could just re-roll the whole thing. Get more.
This is how your life was. This is how your life turned out. We don't choose
You don't
how
get
we
a
start
second
our
chance.
All right, then I'm going.
So-
You can become more of whatever you would like through gameplay action and show it.
All right.
Okay.
But perhaps you were just raised good as a child, and you were so pious
Gooder.
and lawful good.
I was raised gooder.
All right.
So let's hear some drawbacks. What did you end up getting, Lorraine?
Oh, yeah.
I am a hedonist. I am all about pleasure.
Yes.
It's gonna be Boosie all over again.
No Boosie. Hopefully you're a bit older than Boosie.
Okay, concept. Choose that later. Romantic.
You don't-
No, I'm far behind.
You're not a fan of my attempt to recreate Mean Girls in the Pathfinder setting?
Oh my gosh.
I blame Ket.
I blame Ket too. And I'm sending Ket the video with that timed up. Right when we both playing Ket. Anybody else gotten to drawbacks yet? I want to hear some good drawbacks.
We picked them?
Roll it. Yeah, roll it.
Oh, we roll them, okay. Duh.
Your life
Not
chooses
happy.
you.
Okay, are we rolling on the relationship with fellow adventurers table?
Not yet. We'll do that in
Alright.
just a short time.
All right, then I guess I'm at 2 drawbacks.
Oh! Oh,
Rolling high right when it doesn't matter.
really?
99 is not good or bad. It's just as equally bad as the others.
Vane? Really? I'm a crusty, nasty. Wow, okay. I'd figure that
Hey.
one out.
The beard is sacred.
The beard is sacred. There you go. It's got to be all about
Maybe
the beard.
you
man.
have. You're
Actually,
you want to be a master at arms, right? Maybe you have an image that you want to uphold. You want
uphold
to,
the image, yeah.
You can't
Well,
let
he's
anyone
already-
challenge you because you're such a badass.
Well, I'd
If
already
someone's
decided
like-
he was going to have the orange mohawk, so
Well, someone's-
it could be all about the mohawk.
You know, in Dwarven society, I would imagine that the quality of your weapon
Oh,
is very,
yeah, I like
much.
that.
You're like, if you're around salt water a lot, I would imagine that's bad for metal. And,
Yeah.
someone could have been, like, when you were younger, been like, you need to sharpen your blades, boy. And so your blades are, like, sharpened to the T. I mean, you're cutting butter, you're shaving with it. It's just, you have the sharpest blades in town. That's just an example.
Yep. I got to figure out where drawbacks are on here.
Xenophobic. Awesome. What's that?
As
do
a
for you?
half-elf. Let me
That
see
makes
the
sense. People been hating on you so long, you just return the hate.
Yeah, makes sense when you put it like
I
that.
I love background randomness. It makes perfect, beautiful
Oh,
sense. It
this
does.
This is gonna
It's
hurt.
just,
So,
this is all coming together so amazingly.
oh wow.
well.
Oh, I looked up what xenophobic does mechanically.
What's
This
it
is
do?
gonna hurt.
Tell me.
-2 penalty on diplomacy and sense motive made against creatures of a different race or from a different culture.
Oh, well, you count as
Ouch.
both human and elf, so
Oh, so maybe it doesn't hurt as much.
yeah, so you actually have 3 races that you subscribe to.
Woohoo! So,
All right.
comfortable around humans, elves, half-elves,
Oh,
not dwarves,
okay.
screw dwarves.
So
All right. Well, Vane will be easy to role play, but mechanically, well, no, because I'm supposed to be able to intimidate. When you fail an opposed charisma-based check, you take a -2 penalty to all charisma-based checks for 24 hours.
someone knocks your mohawk.
Ouch! Made
You
fun
lose
of the
your
mohawk.
confidence. Gotta protect the
Ouch.
mohawk. Alright, so before we move into relationship with fellow adventurers, I'd like everyone to reveal what campaign trait they have taken, as that is one of their 3 traits that they need to lock in. So left to right, again starting with Lorraine.
A huge scandal like 2 years ago.
All right. Cereza took Touched by the Sea.
What does that do for you?
It means that when she was a young child, she was trapped in a storm and nearly drowned. However, she felt a strange kinship and was as comfortable in the water as in the air. She has a bonus to swim traits. Swim is a class skill, and she has reduced penalties for underwater attacks.
My camera lost focus there for a moment. Okay. Let's see here. Dan, what, is it Quirrell?
Quirrell, yeah.
Quirrell. I want to say Quirrell for some reason. It's QUs.
A certain,
Quirrell.
maybe a certain 7-0 part. Never mind. That was never mind.
I thought his name was Quarrel.
Yeah, there's
Kinda
there's
close.
a
I'm
certain,
sorry.
there's a
You've been
certain
renamed
series of books.
Squirrel. I'm not going to.
That would be a good
But
pirate name
anyway.
for him, though, right? Wouldn't it? If he
Quirrell
was
the
working the
squirrel.
riggings, they could call him Squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel. Like, hey, squirrel. Anyway, mine is actually an odd case. I really like the mechanical benefits of Touched by the Sea, so I ended up taking that. But I was wondering if I could shift the flavor
Sure.
for
Tell me.
Ruin Explorer. Basically, he was out swimming one day and found a small ruin, and since that day he's been obsessed with finding underwater ruins, maybe like Cyclops ruins. So he'd be taking the flavor of Ancient Explorer and applying that to Touched by the Sea, if that makes any sense.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, and I just get
So what
Polyglot
were the
Cyclops.
mechanical event benefits of it?
Yeah, the mechanical benefits of Touched by the Sea, the flavor of Ancient Explorer. I just got Polyglot and Cyclops through high intelligence and linguistics, and I took knowledge, history, and local. And I'm going to be applying inspiration to those roles constantly.
Okay.
So that'll make up for a trait bonus.
All right, Sifrig.
Sifrig took Dockside Brawler. So he loves to go down and duke it out bare-fisted on the docks with any of the townies that are down messing around, hanging around with all the sailors. His trait is he gets a +1 trait bonus on damage rolls with brass knuckles and improvised weapons.
Okay, and Novardi.
Navardi is a barroom tail spinner. Being a 200-year-old elf, he has and primarily spent his life on ships and near the sea. He has plenty of stories to tell. This grants him diplomacy as a class skill, and he's also able to know of certain pirates and their certain stories on a untrained local knowledge check or intelligence check DC 15, which will give him a +1 bonus when influencing people of the region.
All right. So let's do rolling up some adventure relationships. Now, for one, we have to fill in an adventure relationship between at least 2 characters, because they are already related. So unfortunately, you guys are going to lose out on your amazing chance to roll. However, I'd like to start with Craig.
All right.
Craig, you pick one other player and then roll a D100 to see what your relationship is.
Oh. Do we know who the 2 that you already have to work out are? Or does it matter?
Adam and Dan have to be family members because they're already related. Alright, you've picked Lorraine, an 81. What does that get us?
Oh, see? Cult.
You are followers of the same faith or cult. What faith or cult are you guys followers of? Gazra, Besmara, Rovagug?
No deity and worship machinery.
Worship machinery. Interesting. Perhaps you're a follower of Bree, the goddess of clockwork.
No deity, so I could have tireless logic. I literally.
Let's re-roll that
Science.
then, because that's definitely not going to be able to make sense.
Yeah.
Reputation only.
Okay, well that one's easy enough to sort out. So let me ask each of you, what do you know of the other person's reputation?
Ladies first.
This gentlemanly behavior. What do you know of this salty sea dog with the orange mohawk?
I've heard he's a harsh disciplinarian, and that if he sees one of his crew members start to get out of line, he's apt to be fiercer than a shark when he jumps on them.
Ah, very nice. That's probably extremely accurate too.
And what do you know of Sarissa?
She tends to have her head stuck in a machine somewhere, not know what's going on around her.
Not a good reputation to have as a pirate, but alright, we'll work on improving it. So, Lorraine, you get to pick someone, not Craig, to roll a D100 with.
Adam.
Very well. It turns out you two both know each other by reputation. I think we've established Lorraine's reputation. So,
sorry.
What can
yet
you tell
you're still
me?
choosing me as captain.
What can you tell me about Novardi, Lorraine? What have you heard about him?
Let's see here. I've heard that he's always up to some insane alchemical experiment. There's weird things bubbling over, and you're never quite sure when he's going to explode a hole into the side of the hull.
All right. So I believe that leaves Adam and Lorraine both with 2 connections already, which means we are forced to take Dan rolling for Craig. So let's see what the relationship is there.
Alright.
That will give everyone 2 backgrounds. Number 8. That's a good one. Friend of a friend. So who is this friend that you both know? Give him a name and a short background. I totally won't use him later in the campaign to cause some mischief.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I am terrible at names. Like, just coming up with names. Friend of a friend. Craig, you want to take this?
Spark Booty Blaster.
That is the name of a character that I have used in a past campaign.
You've used in multiple past campaigns.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to put Spark Booty Blaster, the greatest gnome in all creation.
Oh, wow, that hurts. That's just painful. It's all you, Dan. Come on, man.
How about Atticus Styles?
Okay.
There you go.
He sounds a little upper crust there. What does Atticus Styles do?
He was born in the Shackles. He's a free pirate. Recently, he's taken to working with the Pathfinder Society, and that takes him all over the map.
Oh, a Pathfinder pirate. Maybe he's even a captain.
Yeah.
I like that. And so you both know each other through Atticus Styles. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everyone has written down all their traits. And has to form a story around those traits. And so, not to put him on the spot, but because I know he's so good at doing this, I want to start with Adam.
I love it.
Can you walk me through just the skeleton? Obviously, over the week we'll form something more solid, but walk me through your background.
Sure. I just want to ask one question. Are we doing one drawback or two?
One drawback.
Okay, good. Okay. So I am playing a full elf with water blood traits. He is from the sea, so he has the sea sold regional trait. However, his parents were serfs, very poor, and therefore he was possibly poverty stricken. His parents are alive. However, he has a rich uncle that saw some potential in his intelligence, therefore left him with some inheritance, which kind of expanded upon his mathematical prodigy, his ability to make calculations. He's had an engineer's mind. His influential associate is an academic who probably pushed him through to a magic and engineering, giving him the desperate resolve magical trait access. In his training, he saw a situation where there was a righting of a wrong, where something good had to happen because of some type of either slight or crime. In his past, he saw a family member, possibly, actually not possibly, but a trade person come in conflict with one of his family members, which I want to say that was his sister, who was actually a, let's just say, had a romantic tist with this trade person, and Dan's character was the ultimate result of this. So
can I ask, what is this human's name that was so unique that he could draw away the love of an elf?
I always think of someone
Atticus Styles, perhaps?
Atticus Styles is an amazing name.
Oh.
And I think would be an excellent bastard father, if that's okay to say.
So there's no rule of that.
There's going to be so much worse said at this campaign, I assure you. We're pirates, not polite.
My friend is also my father. Oh no.
Well, let's say you don't know that he's your father. He befriended you because reasons, as Mr. Torg would say, reasons. You don't know that he's your father. However, let's say that Adam's character Novardi does know.
Well, let's just say my crime was unlawful use of magic. So I probably tried to discern some truth from that. And my punishment was torture, which I enjoyed because I got to the bottom of the truth. This involved a family member. This is something very near and dear to me. And I would have done it again, and I would do it again. The conflict was I destroyed his reputation. So maybe he was one of those, people that people looked fond upon him. They're like, oh, isn't he so great? Well, once I found that truth.
I got it. I got this. Are you ready, Adam?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but...
No, please do.
He was an Enduran free captain in the Eagle Knights. And he had a relationship with this elf woman from the Shackles on his occasional journey south. He just wants a little free time. It's like going to Tijuana, right? Ends up having a kid there. You're like, who just knocked up my sister? So you're like, uh-oh, I better use this secret eldritch magical ritual that will almost certainly result in blood magic. Figure out it's him. ended up getting him shamed in Andor, and now he, it got so bad he had to defect and mutiny, and now he's just a roaming pirate in the Pathfinder Society in the
No, I
Shackles.
mean he deleted the wooden doors before he put all the.
Does that sound good?
I love it. That's
that
awesome.
sounds very good.
So who tortured you? I would guess probably the Eagle Knights then. You were using some sort of freaky magic, and then you were
What
like, "Hey,
magic?
Eagle Knights, I used this weird ass magic to figure out that one of your bros is actually, not on the up and up." And they're like, "Oh, what's that? You're using some sort of blood magic to summon up devils."
Yeah, I'm all about that. Whatever to ascertain the truth. I would go to that length, and I
This
would,
man who loves his sister.
Yep. So my only my drawback, which makes perfect sense with my family background, is avarice. So when there's money involved, he will he'll turn his eye a little bit and say, if there's a buck to be made, I'm in.
I'm gonna have to do so much work on this Atticus Styles guy. But you know what? He undoubtedly wears a hat that looks a lot like this. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for as a campaign background. So who wants to go next?
I guess it's only fitting that I go next, seeing as Adam and I are kind of causally linked.
I mean, I can't.
Yep.
I did it. And it's the process of fixing it.
Unlike Adam, I actually grew up in the forest of the mainland in the Shackles, probably a bit away from Port Peril. My mother died my elven mother died when I was young, so only my father is left alive, and I never knew my father. No siblings, of course. No siblings. She was a bit of a wandering spirit, but never stayed down for long. The circumstances of my birth were actually pretty special. It was a sort of an auspicious event at the blessed birth.
Wait, if I core protect something, will grass not grow?
Blessed birth. Way up there.
If I core protect something, will this grass that I'm trying to grow not?
There we go. Blessed birth. Yeah, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I was born to my water elf mother. I apologize for being so.
That's exactly what I want.
It's all right. Did we just lose Dan?
I think we lost him.
Well, Craig, someone in the chat wanted to say that you had an excellent headset.
Oh, thank you. I wear this thing a lot. I gotta have a good one.
Do we have you back, Dan?
Oh.
Yeah, we lost you there, somewhere around Blessed Birth.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was afraid I've been rambling into the mic. Yes, married, blessed, left a birthmark on me. My mother, when she was alive, was a tradesperson, but I eventually was raised by my uncle, Navardi.
I'm also going to destroy Kai.
And he also... And a funny thing, Kirel also got a share of that inheritance from Navardi's uncle, his granduncle.
Some pretty random rolls where you both get that. Gotta get the cash though.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get the cash. I think I might have spent it because due to the circumstances of my birth, my mother's death, and not knowing my father, I actually was part of a gang, and that gang actually went to war with another gang. So it was a dark time in my childhood. It was a dark time in my childhood. I was still finding myself, but I finally opened up to my uncle, and my uncle sort of became my confidant, and I told him all about what I was dealing with, and he taught me the secrets of alchemy. But one day he just asked me to do a errand for him, and he asked me to 2 pinches of fire salts when I accidentally got frost salts. But because it was a busy day at the market, I wasn't entirely sure. Like it was closed, like paper bags, not properly labeled, and I was just in a rush to get back to my books. So I didn't feel very guilty about it. So that'll put me into lawful neutral territory. And as far as romance is concerned, I've tried around the field. I've had a few significant relationships, but none of them really worked out. I kind of comes with the territory of being
Thank you for giving me that.
like kind of comes with the territory of being a half elf. As such, I've never really, probably due to my xenophobic tendencies, I've never quite at home anywhere. I mean, among elves and humans, sure, they're fine, but I've never been able to find many of my own kind. And recently I actually came across a pirate called Atticus Styles, calling himself Atticus Styles, and he told me all about his adventures in the high sea, all around the inner sea region, and he told me of this dwarf he knew, the terrible, like, beard made of salt and carrying a giant axe, and I was really taken up. So
Just so happens you met with that dwarf for a drink one night, but we'll get to that.
At the Formidably Made. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
So the sister died. That's an important detail.
Yeah.
Take note of that.
Getting recursive. So, no, sorry. I had a Twitch thing up to check out the chat. But one of our viewers has something that they would like to ask. Did you spend all of that money on hookers and blow? Like any young child with a huge inheritance would.
Seeing as I ran with a gang for a time, yeah, I probably did.
He was really responsive in chat. It's good stuff. He had lots of good questions. Alright, so who's up next then? The Rain. Craig the Rain.
Craig's lips were moving, but no words were coming through. No audio.
That would be because I'm muted. Talking to the mute button. I can go next. That's fine. Sifrig is an orphan. Both of his parents have been killed. They were killed in a local war. He has 5 siblings. They were all thrown into an orphanage together, where he suffered a lot, was bullied upon quite a bit, and learned to fight with his fists. Come out swinging first. Was heavily persecuted in the orphanage by some of the other kids because of his race. You don't normally see dwarves outside of dwarven holes in surface
Mountain.
Orphanage belong to surface people. Yeah. So he is very well connected. He has a good friend by the name of Rudrigar Clearbrook, who's a halfling that he can turn to in times of need. He was cheated out of a position on a ship by a doppelganger that he took his revenge on, and was suffered from jealousy for a long time, and it cost him a lot of promotions and things that he should have gotten otherwise. So he suffered for that, but he doesn't have any guilt about taking his revenge on him.
What is the form of this revenge, might I ask?
On the doppelganger?
Beating, or was it death? I mean,
beating, man, beat down.
Beating?
Seriously, beat him so bad he couldn't walk. Yeah.
So this doppelganger's still alive then?
Maybe. He might have survived.
Oh, this is such a good villain. A doppelganger who already knows your face?
I
Who
figured I'd
hates
throw you a
you?
bone. Yeah, I'd throw you a bone, man. I'm all over that one.
Oh my gosh.
I knew you would love that. Doppelgangers are just fantastic to throw in. So, over his lifetime, he's had several significant relationships. Nothing really panned out. You know, the old sailor with a girl in a report, and more recently, he's become concerned about the fact that he's not quite as young as he used to be.
That's saying something
So,
for a dwarf.
yeah. He's and actually in his write up that I did before we did any of this, I did write him up as being 170 something years old. So he's not young for a dwarf anymore.
All right. I
There
think
you
that
go.
leaves us with one person.
Cereza grew up in the bustling port city of Rapier Bay. Her father was a tradesman who works with the renowned Forge, the steel-clad giant, and her mother operated a small shop near the docks where she and her two siblings would spend their time. For the most part, it was a comfortable life. She was happier spending time out on the water or on the beaches than actually interacting with her fellow townspeople. Did run into a bit of trouble, however, when one of the other tradespeople that she knew in town was trying to raise money for a new investment, and she happened to overhear them saying where they were going to be acquiring some gray market supplies at a substantial discount. Being, of course, a force of truth and justice, she happened to mention this to her father and the other workers at the shanty, and said gray market merchant was promptly run out of town. I really bad about the ones who are robbing other ships and not giving the local man profit.
Is it just me, or is Lorraine just completely
It's not just you.
broken up? Yeah. We still have you, Lorraine?
Hello?
Yeah, I lost you
Hello.
around loans.
Alright, making stuff up. Yeah, so she had overheard a rumor of a local artisan who was going to be picking up some gray market supplies without paying the proper dues to the local townsfolk. She happened to mention it to her father, who shared the information with some of the other forge workers, who promptly took a couple wrenches and paid this guy a visit at night to remind him that he needed to better support the community when dealing with stolen items.
Let me ask you, what is the name of this gray market gentleman?
Alonzo Rudolfo.
What race is he?
He is a half-elf from Taldor. He
Alonzo
claims
Rudolph?
that he is a member of a noble house who has come out here to explore financial adventures. However, most people believe that he's actually just getting by the skin of his teeth.
Wow. Sounds almost like you ripped the background for my necromancer.
No comment.
Sounds almost exactly like his background, just changed Saldor for Mordenspire or Sovereign. Okay,
Well,
let's
this
do
one does
some
not
more.
have a pony of love and justice following him around.
Right,
So,
of
you know,
course.
hey,
The pony is the difference.
yes. The pony makes all the difference.
Tell me more about this.
Having finally reached maturity, she's seeking to escape the comfortable life of her parents and find out more about the waves that call to her. She is a bit of a hedonist, having been raised in a very comfortable lifestyle, and if she does not receive treasure or rewards each day, she is going to be fatigued until someone gives her money.
Oh, that Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm gonna just fill in a couple blanks here. So Adam, your family, the weapon that you carry, the hilt of it, has a certain mark, and this is the mark of your particular family, where you were warriors. Your father, your grandfather, your uncle, just all the male lineage have all belonged to a certain military company. So let me ask you, what does that mark look like?
Well, I actually have a shirt that I wore just in case there was some type of imagery that needed to happen,
Like a flag?
like a flag. And so I'll show you what it is on my back, if you can see it.
All right.
Timber.
Okay, I can't see it very well, but explain to me what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, essentially, it's a flag that says "Rebels Revenge."
Hmm.
It looks like two griffins attacking a skull.
Okay, so that's kind of, it's not your family crest, but it's a family tradition for males in your family to have served in this military company, which now no longer exists. However, you guys have taken it up as your seal, your sigil, and so both you and Quirrell will both have that stamped on the base of your weapons.
Very cool.
All right, so Sifrig, let me ask you. You have this unusual pearl. What color is this pearl?
Pearl, as
Pearl.
in out of an oyster.
Yep.
Okay. Cream colored.
Sometimes when you pick up this pearl, you think you can hear singing. And while you've taken it to many mages and appraisers, no one thinks there's anything special about this pearl. But you know in your heart that there's some strange connection between this pearl and the singing. And it only happens when you're alone.
I'm invisible, but only when nobody can see me.
So just write down that you have
All right.
this
Cream
cream-colored
colored
pearl.
pearl. Some sort of connection. Only works.
Now, Quirrell,
Only happens.
Yes.
your mother gave you something before her death. It's a
Okay.
piece of jewelry. What is it shaped like?
Shaped like. Well, is it an earring, an amulet?
Whatever you'd like it to be.
It's a ring with a snake eating its own tail. Silver ring with a snake eating its own tail.
Well, it's a ring with a snake eating its own tail. It appears to be platinum. However, it's a rare form of platinum that has black strands going through it, and from time to time you swear that the strands move. So you're not sure what this inky black cloud is that sometimes removes itself to different locations around the ring, but the ring itself sometimes seems to shift. Sarissa, when you use your water-based magic, the sea, or the water that you're forming, turns a certain color of the sea. So what kind of water do you use? Is it seafoam green? Is it the crystal clear of the islands at the sandy beach? Is it the dark blue of the deep ocean? What specific color does your magic manifest as?
When I tap my water, It actually has a faint blue-green aura, as if there was some algae suspended within.
So your magic's a little moldy then. Alright. So we're going to take a 5-minute break here, guys. And when we come back, we will do equipment. And if you haven't finished your character sheet up, we'll do that. And we will get started partway into the campaign. You'll understand why when we get into it. So 5-minute break. For those of you watching live, we will be back at the half hour.